This college basketball player has developed a reputation for having an absolutely awful dating history, with multiple exes sharing horror stories of what they had to go through. Now, the controversy is being called Surviving Sedona, as dozens of stories have flooded the internet talking about Sedona Prince's concerning behavior. The most prominent being a recent series by a creator named Via, which details a nightmare trip she took to Mexico with Sedona for her birthday. It includes crashing an ATV in the dark.
I'm begging her, screaming, please stop the ATV, please stop the ATV. And she stops it as hard as she can, shoves me to the ground, looks me dead in my eyes, and then takes off.
Getting manic tattoos, and serial cheating. But I pulled together the entire timeline for the situation, along with all the context and details you need to really understand everything going on surrounding Sedona Prince. Today's story was sent to me by even more people than the last one, probably over 30 different people, and I really appreciate everyone telling me what they want to hear about. So if you ever come across something you think I should cover, don't hesitate to DM me on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. And if you want to catch the next thing I talk about, please consider subscribing. But even if you don't, thank you so much just for watching. Now let's get into it. Let's start with some background on Sedona Prince. She's 24 years old, 6'7", and currently playing D1 college basketball at TCU. But the main reason for this extra long video today is because she tends to date a ton of women who end up not having the nicest things to say about Sedona's actions during the relationships. And the first person that's going to explain that to us is Sedona herself. In this TikTok from October 2020, the text on screen says, "Me after another failed relationship."
Maybe I'm the problem. No.
A handful of months later, in March of 2021, the lore behind Sedona being a bad girlfriend slightly grew after her team at the time posted this video.
Asking everyone on the team who they would not let date their brother or sister. Mike, who would you not let date your brother or sister on the team? Sedona. TC, who would you not let date your brother or sister on the team? Sedona. Jazz, who would you not let date your brother or sister on the team? Sedona.
However, most of Sedona's notoriety at the time was due to this video she posted one day later, which exposed the NCAA for not providing the women's teams in the March Madness tournament with adequate weight rooms.
I got something to show y'all. So for the NCAA March Madness, the biggest tournament in college basketball for women, this is our weight room. Let me show y'all the men's weight room. Now, when pictures of our weight room got released versus the men's, the NCAA came out with a statement saying that it wasn't money, it was space that was a problem. Let me show y'all something else. Here's our practice court, right? And then here's that weight room. And then here's all this extra space. If you aren't upset about this problem, then you're a part of it.
So now let's get to the controversy that Sedona's facing due to past relationships. And in order to understand the Mexico video series, we need to begin with her first ex, Riley, who is a content creator on TikTok. This article from E! News says they broke up on July 31st, 2022, after around 1 year and 4 months of dating. They shared a video featuring both of them to Sedona's TikTok. It's since been taken down, but the article quotes them saying, "We did split for kind of the best," the college basketball star said. "It was a mutual decision, and are very at peace with this. We just felt like we weren't growing as individuals, and we felt like it was our duty and responsibility to tell you guys, because we do share our relationship so much on this app, and to let you know why we won't be in each other's videos anymore." Riley, who held back tears as she spoke, added that they're still on good terms, despite the breakup. "We still have so much love for each other, and we appreciate you guys letting us share our love for the last year and a half," Riley said. "And for those of you who are supportive, we appreciate you so much." Of their romance, Sedona shared that it's been such an incredible journey the last year and a half. As she told her followers, "It's been so much fun sharing our relationship with you guys, and you've been so incredible, and I've been blessed to have such an awesome relationship." However, despite the seemingly mutual breakup, things took a turn south just 2 weeks later, because after Sedona posted then deleted a Snapchat story alluding to Riley traumatizing her, someone commented on one of Riley's videos telling her about it. and she replied, saying that Sedona cheated on her twice. This led Sedona to post an apology video a few days later, but I can't seem to find it re-uploaded anywhere. But we do have some screenshots of comments posted under the video, and viewers were not happy. One wrote, "It's giving I lost a brand deal over being toxic." Others pointing out the hypocrisy of claiming to respect Riley's privacy, while still complaining in this apology video that Riley went on a date with somebody she didn't want her to. A few days after this, on August 21st, 2022, Sedona posted this Snapchat story with the words, "Coming to the realization that I am and always have been the drama." And the next day, another series of posts saying, "My financial advisors and I just had a 2-hour call to determine how much money I spent on my ex the past year and a half. I could have bought 2 Model 3 Teslas, 2 effing cars with the money I spent on her. And I spent almost the exact same amount on my ex before her. This is not a them problem. It is my fault for never letting my significant other pay for anything. But still, it sucks. I need to set better boundaries with my next significant other. I feel more like a sugar mommy instead of an actual GF. It's honestly me not thinking I'm good enough to be loved for just myself. So I try and buy my love. It's effed up, and I hate that I do that. Maybe it's trauma, maybe it's just my fault, but it sucks and I don't want to feel like this anymore." The posts and allegations went quiet on both sides for a few months. Then, in November of 2022, Riley posted this video exposing Sedona for what she did and said during their relationship. It starts with a DM she received in May 2021. When someone told her that they saw Sedona kissing another girl that night out at a bar, then showing another person that reached out to her about this too. After this, she shows a text that she received from Sedona following that night, where she writes, "You were right, my girl, about everything. I know I hurt you so deeply, and I just hope one day that you will forgive me. I will work my hardest every day and sacrifice everything to make sure that you are taken care of from here on out. I will reassure you and make up for all of the damage I've caused. It makes me sick to my stomach every time I think about what happened, because it was such a huge mistake, and it didn't even make sense that it happened. Being drunk isn't an excuse. There are no excuses. I am so deeply sorry for hurting you, my sweet girl. When we first started our relationship, all I wanted to do was take care of you. I still feel that same way, but I have failed you. And I'm so effing disappointed and angry with myself. I never want to lose you or us, and I cannot imagine this life without you." She continues on the next page saying similar things. In another screenshot, Sedona is seen joking about marrying one of her teammates while she was still together with Riley. And another screenshot where Sedona is messaging the teammate she was joking about marrying, telling them that she wants to have sex with them. This flirting continues over the next handful of screenshots. Then Riley shows texts she received during that same time period, where Sedona is treating her the exact opposite and getting irritated over small things. After this, the next dozen or so screenshots show a big fight they had around April and May of 2022. Later in the video, she includes a series of messages Sedona sent her on November 22nd, 2022, writing, "F you. For real though, if I kill myself in the next few weeks, I want you to know it's because of you. Nah, JK, I'll never let you win like that. F you, you little piece of S. I effing hate you. You win. Woohoo. You hurt me the same that I hurt you. You won, Riley. Good job. You got your effing payback. Now leave me alone." Adding in another text, "I hope you have miserable days filled with boring sex for the rest of your life, you effing rat." Riley goes on to show a screenshot of a DM she received from another one of Sedona's exes, who describes experiencing the same level of emotional trauma that Riley's likely going through, saying that Sedona lied to her about talking to other girls while they were dating, and it's probably still happening. Then Riley shows a couple screenshots, which include confirmation of Sedona cheating with her teammate. About a month after Riley uploaded this video, in December of 2022, Sedona posted a TikTok where she's lip-syncing to SZA's song, Kill Bill, mouthing the words, "I might kill my ex, not the best idea." The caption reads, "SZA, you're 6 months late." Now we're at the point where we can get into all of the context behind the recent drama on TikTok, which started 1 month after the last video, around January 18th, 2023. When her next relationship with a content creator named Via was made public. She's also referred to as Olivia and Liv. However, immediately, comments under their announcement TikTok were calling out Sedona's past as an abuser, with people saying, "Hopefully you never upset her. We've seen what happens. Girl, run." And sometimes you gotta let people make their own mistakes. Good luck, Charlie. Around the same time, allegations were reported that Sedona was preparing to sue Riley for defamation in regard to the breakup drama. And in response to fans warning Via about Sedona's past actions, she posted this photo slideshow on February 1st, 2023, saying, "In the same way certain people can bring out the best in you, certain people can also bring out the worst. I believe in second chances. I learned that people do change, because I did." The next day, Riley posted this image full of text on her TikTok story, overall providing a warning to Via. I'll go through some of the highlights of what she wrote. "Unfortunately, abusers don't change. I hoped the same for myself. It's not always bad. It's mostly really wonderful. The bad is just really bad. It's addicting. You're stuck. I've had 4 other girls come to me with screenshots and evidence of the same treatment. Same type of love bombing. So intoxicating. Then same lies from the same person. They're good. They know exactly what they're doing. It works every time. It has worked every time. Quick tip, ask if they have any exes that aren't crazy. And if they name any, ask if they cheated on the ex. This is the last thing I will be saying. Just wanted to get it off my chest. The optimism in believing they will change is what fuels them. They target empaths for that reason. Be safe. Good night." Then, 5 days after this, on February 7th, 2023, Sedona made a post on TikTok stories sharing a letter that Riley sent her after they broke up. It starts, "I've been quiet this past week, collecting my thoughts and emotions regarding the situation. This letter was sent to me by my ex after our mutual breakup." She then includes 3 images of a handwritten letter. On the first page, Riley says how much she misses Sedona, writing, "Even when you think I've forgotten about you, know that I'm constantly grasping at any and every memory of us. Despite everything, I don't have a single regret. I am one of the luckiest people in the world." On the second page, she writes, "I want you to know that I forgive you, and I hope you can forgive me too. I also wanted to let you know that I only hang on to the good memories. I choose to remember us as we were." Ending things on the last page by saying, "If not this life, I hope we get the next." Over the next few posts, Sedona writes, "The day the internet started talking about my new relationship, you began harassing my friends and family and commenting hateful things. For weeks after, you were reaching out to my girlfriend, trying to convince her to break up with me. 10 hours after posting my first video with my girlfriend, you aired out every hardship we went through and all of our fights during the span of 2 years, all out of context to paint a narrative that is far from the truth, including a random video of me having a nosebleed following a panic attack about a surgery I was about to have the following day. 2 days after that video was posted, you saw that my girlfriend didn't leave me. So you then decided to attack her and tell the internet to bring hate to her accounts and make it grueling for her to be with me. You have been trying to use the internet as your pawn in an attempt to ruin my new relationship. My girlfriend knows both sides to this story. She has seen everything. That's why she is staying by my side. That's also why everyone in my life that was there for our relationship is staying by my side. I am truly disappointed that all of the incredible times we shared on and off the internet will be overshadowed by the hard times. I am hurt that my darkest times were shared with the world when I have left you alone and moved on. Meanwhile, you started dating the person you cheated on me with. I cannot believe, after all of the love we shared, you would try and convince the world it was all hatred. I have addressed all of the things from my past relationship and have taken accountability online, but more importantly offline, to everyone affected. Thank you to those of you who truly know my character and choose to join me during this next chapter of my life. as I leave this past one behind. After Sedona posted all of this, Riley quickly responded with her own Notes app post, first saying, "I never once harassed a single member of her friends or family, and I have proof of that. I have never reached out to any of her friends after we broke up. In fact, one of her best friends kept calling me, and I have proof that her friend called my mom the other day. I only reached out to her parents once in October, after she threatened to take her life while arguing with me, and then once very recently to let my ex know her water and electricity got turned off, and I paid the last 2 months for her, even though I was no longer living there." Riley then addresses when Sedona said, "For weeks after, you were reaching out to my girlfriend to try to convince her to break up with me," responding, "This is such a blatant lie. Go ahead and post the proof then. I have never reached out to that girl. Not once. Y'all haven't even known each other for weeks, so how the F would I reach out for weeks after? Please show me the proof." On the next page, adding, "The only proof shown was a letter I sent after we broke up that states I choose to only focus on the good, how we were, which I think very clearly shows that I was not treated well for a long time. You have continued to blatantly lie about me when I have proof of everything, just further proving my points. Treated you like a TikTok pawn? Are you serious? I was used as your little prop for views. I made significantly less couples content than you. You used to get annoyed with me for not wanting to do paid deals / make a career out of TikTok because I didn't care to be an influencer." Continuing in the following image, "The panic attack about your surgery? Be serious. Like I said, I have screenshots in chronological order of the entire conversation that led up to you sending that video. You said, word for word, I wanted you to see. You were guilting me for saying I didn't want to continue a relationship / friendship with you. I have solid proof. Again, you forget I have proof of everything. I can post the calls from your mother in my phone and your best friend in my mom's phone. I can post screenshots of your friend trying to insert herself into our breakup. I can post the texts sent to your mother of me harassing her about your unpaid water bill. You continue to fabricate the reality of what you've done / what happened. You do not have power over me anymore. You can be angry that everyone sees straight through your BS, but I will not back down. Everyone knows exactly who you are. I am the one that has used my voice and platform to speak on it." Then ending her statement, writing, "Go ahead and sue me like you threatened to. I haven't received my cease and desist yet. Where is it? It's all a scare tactic, and I am not scared of you." Later, Riley uploads the screenshot of the message where she's allegedly harassing Sedona's mom, which ends with, "Let me know if you get this message. Wishing you all the best and sending love." On the final slide, she adds, "I can't believe this girl really thought showing a heartfelt letter from me, expressing my gratitude for the good times and forgiveness for everything would be the thing that proves I'm a villain. You got me. I have a forgiving heart and was expressing my love. Past tense. Hello, LMFAO? I'm sorry. What on earth was that about? Anyways, I take it back. I don't forgive you. Please choke." Now we jump back to Sedona's relationship with Via, which throughout the rest of 2023 and the beginning of 2024 was, for the time being, going smoothly. But still, some of the couples content they posted during that time was questionable and a little cringy. In August 2023, Via uploaded this egg smash prank TikTok, during which Sedona absolutely destroys an egg on Via's forehead.
So, we're gonna be doing a little magic trick. So we're gonna start off, we got a bunch of ingredients going on here. Basically, the essence of what's going on is gonna be a egg cleanse. Okay. You're gonna take the egg, you wanna dip it in the water, and then fucking crack it.
Babe. Oh, you're crazy.
You fucking pee.
Someone pissed? Okay, here's for my magic trick now. Just throw it up.
No!
Spin it around.
Don't do it over here!
Do a little dance with it. Ready? Move!
Then in January of 2024, they uploaded this video of them brushing their teeth together.
I cheated myself like I knew.
Later in January, the controversy actually dipped away from Sedona for a moment, because Via started getting called out for talking like a white girl around her family and Sedona, but then putting on a black scent whenever she records TikToks, with this video from August 2022 resurfacing.
Hey guys, come to work with me as a bartender in an ice bar. So first off, I gotta get my coffee or else I will crash. Gotta put on my snow pants, my toe warmers, and my gloves that do heat up because it is literally 15 degrees inside. I say hi to Larissa and James and all my other beautiful co-workers. Here's me making a drink. You know, you give me a fat tip. Then I gotta make sure to restock all the ice cups and make sure everything's clean and get a drink on my way out.
A week after this, Via was criticized again for dating an abuser. After this point, 3 months go by without any noise. Then on May 14th, Via indicates that her and Sedona broke up, with fans noticing that she reposted a TikTok that says, "POV, you just got dumped in your driveway, and your dad saw the whole thing." The same day, a viewer commented on one of Via's videos saying, "I hope everything is okay, Liv," and she replied, "It's not, but I will be," with people speculating that they broke up and noticing that they unfollowed each other on Instagram. An article was posted the next day by hercampus.com, and it's titled, "The Lesbian TikTok Drama Returns. Sedona and Liv Might Have Broken Up," in which they add that Via deleted most of her pictures with Sedona from Instagram and has been replying to comments in a very cryptic way. For instance, on May 13th, Liv posted a video with Sedona from their trip to Mexico, but on May 15th, she replied to comments suggesting she is going through a breakup. One user commented, "You can tell you loved her with your whole soul, and if that wasn't enough for her, it will be more than enough for someone else. Sending positive vibes, you'll get through it." To which Liv responded, "Love will always win. It always will." The rumors of their breakup only grew after Riley responded to a comment on one of her videos that says, "Sedona is the issue always," replying, "If only you knew." At the same time, Sedona was responding to a comment on one of her second account videos. They wrote, "Stop making your relationships as public as you do, and people wouldn't care so much about what happens in it. I don't care about it, but obviously some people do." With Sedona replying, "Why do you think I rarely posted Liv? I wanted to fall in love with my platform again as me, but she wanted me to post her as much as possible, and I just did not want to have this happen again, but alas." Sedona also uploaded a video shortly after this, which included this body of text. "I understand that a lot of you people hate me and think I am a monster, but people calling me an it or thing is so dehumanizing and is the most soul-crushing thing to read about yourself. I am a human being just trying to figure out this life thing like all of you. You can say whatever you want about me, but stop dehumanizing and degrading me. That's all I ask. Thank you. I'm still human at the end of the day." At this point, Sedona set all the videos of her and Via to private, except for one of them, which clearly shows the expression on Sedona's face, dropping pretty much as soon as Via turns away from her. Viewers noted that this move from Sedona was likely intentional, in order to paint Via as obnoxious. The next day, on May 22nd, a few of Sedona's old videos with Riley were called out. They were uploaded in July of 2021, and people were concerned with how rough Sedona was, this publicly during their relationship. The following day, Sedona addressed the drama surrounding the breakup with Via again, writing on her second account, "I'm sorry, y'all. It really is just so hard to not make petty posts about all the crazy things being said about me. I am really trying though, I promise. 2 years of therapy has helped a lot, but it still gets to me sometimes." Adding in the caption, "For real, from here on out, no more petty posts. Y'all have my word." However, you can be the judge of if she actually stuck to that. Because just 3 days later, she posted on her main account, "When even your dogs know you're depressed, so they lay in bed with you all morning." A few days after this, on May 29th, Via uploaded a photo to her Instagram story, which includes the words, "Bye bitch." Then about a month goes by, and on July 5th, Via uploads a TikTok, again implying that Sedona cheated, while tearfully explaining how the situation affected her, with people not happy about the way she's been avoiding directly saying what happened. 2 weeks after this, on July 19th, Riley uploaded a video with the text, "When the only thing I ever asked for nearly 2 years, was this specific Lego bouquet that I was obsessed with. And the only time she considered getting it for me was after we broke up. She still didn't get it for me, but then proceed to gift that exact Lego bouquet that I begged for to her next girlfriend as a 1-month present." Someone commented under the video saying, "That would make me insane. Lock me up and throw away the key. Don't trust me on the streets." And Riley replied, "And it did. And I got dragged for it." Here's a photo of the Lego flower bouquet, posted by Via in September of 2023. A couple weeks after this was brought up, on August 4th, Via was seen in her TikTok comments, replying to someone who asked, "How do people move on so fast?" And Via said, "My ex moved on while still in the relationship. I promise this isn't fast." Basically confirming that Sedona cheated while they were together. And at this point, viewers pushed Via to explain what actually happened. So now we get into the main controversy, that everything I've talked about so far, and will talk about afterwards, is surrounding. On August 13th, Via uploaded an 8-part TikTok series, where she talks about a recent trip she took to Mexico with Sedona for her birthday. Via includes this video as an intro.
I didn't realize that you can still get blocked text messages on your laptop, and I just stumbled across one from a certain somebody saying I tarnished what we had, and what I'm posting on social media has ruined it. You want to know what tarnished what we had? Let's get into it. It's time.
So with that, let's dive into part 1, which starts with Via's account of them traveling to Mexico.
Part 1 of who the did I take to Mexico, okay? So we wake up 3 a.m. for the plane ride. Already was scared because she is not good in the mornings, okay? Was always very angry. So I tried not to step on her toes, tried to stay out of her way until we got to the airport. Got on the plane, everything was fine, and then we sat next to each other, ordered a beer, and I accidentally spilled some of my beer on her leg. So what'd she do? Got up and went and sat on the opposite side of the aisle from me for the rest of the plane ride. And what'd I do? Looked outside the window and cried until I fell asleep and until we got to Mexico. The trip that I completely paid for and planned. Planned because she said I didn't plan any dates. Enough dates or get her enough flowers. Right. Okay.
Then she mentions how on the way to where they were staying, they got into a car crash.
We get off the plane, we get to the shuttle that I booked, and we get on the shuttle. We have beers waiting for us, water waiting for us, and we get into a car crash, not even 20 minutes into the ride. If that wasn't a sign enough itself from the Mayan gods, I don't know what it was. I should have taken it, but obviously I'm not good at reading signs, okay?
After this, she explains a bad situation that happened when they decided to ride an ATV in the dark.
The first 2 nights were fine until the 3rd day came around and she was getting upset that she wasn't in control of the plans. So I told her we could do whatever she wanted to do because it was her birthday. And what she wanted to do was rent an ATV. So we went and got the ATV, we had it for the whole day, and then came nighttime. She looks at me and says, "I want to go exploring." I said, "Okay." And so what did we do? We left our phones in the hotel room and started to drive the ATV in the dark in Mexico. We're going past the hotels, we're going past the shops, and I'm asking her where is she planning to go right now? What is her goal? And she says she wants to go to the arch. After the arch, it's pitch black. Like there are jaguar crossing signs.
She continues in part 2, saying how things got insanely worse.
At this point, I am begging her to turn it around and for us to do this in the daytime when we have our phones, because we left our phones to be more present in the moment. She's not answering me. She's just going and going faster. We're now past the arch and it's pitch black and it's the scariest thing I've ever experienced. And I'm begging her, screaming, please stop the ATV. Please stop the ATV. And she stops it as hard as she can, shoves me to the ground, looks me dead in my eyes, and then takes off and leaves me in the pitch black. So what do? I get up and I start running for my life because I didn't know what else to do in that situation. I'm literally telling myself, you're gonna make it, Liv, you're gonna make it. All I can hear are the sounds of my footsteps on the ground because you can't hear anything else. It's pitch black jungle, okay? For like 5 minutes, I am running for my life, and the thoughts that were running through my head, I can't even put into words, but I see her headlights coming back. I see the headlights coming back, and as soon as she gets to me, she flips it on its side, and what do? I run over to her and I'm like, baby, are you okay? Trying to make sure that she's okay. She shoves me, tells me to get the off of her, that it's my fault we're in this situation, that I held her back. So I'm like, all right, you just crashed off an ATV. Let me flip this over. It wouldn't start.
Then she talks about how she flagged down a truck full of guys so they could help them tow the ATV back to the hotel. But things didn't go as planned.
So then I see a car coming down the street and I wave them down, and it was a car filled with 10 guys in the back of the truck, okay? And thank God that they were good people. I asked them to tow us to our hotel that's a few miles away. They tie up our ATV and she's steering it as we're now going 35 miles per hour behind the back of a truck in the middle of a jungle. She is swerving it, yelling at me, we're broken up, I'm breaking up with you, this is your fault, you're holding me back. And I'm literally saying, okay, we're broken up, okay, let's just talk about this when we get back, please stop swerving. I black out. I fly like 7 feet off the freaking ATV, my entire left side of my body, completely torn up. And I wake up and I see her already standing and she's making them leave us. Leave, we've got to figure it out, leave, thank you for your help. And now they're driving away as I'm picking myself up, and we're now stranded once again in the middle of a jungle with no phones. Now crashed off an ATV. So I push it to the side and I'm like, all right, let's just go. Let's start walking.
Fia goes on in part 3, explaining what happened after they decided to just ditch the ATV and started to walk back to the hotel.
So now we're walking back after both being crashed off an ATV, and I pushed it, by the way, into the jungle. I was like, I will deal with this tomorrow. We're walking now, and she is skipping back and forth. Woo, I'm single. Where's my short Latina baddie at? Where's my little Latina baddie? I'm like, what am I even experiencing right now? So then we get into a taxi that happened to be driving down the street, get into it, and we get taken to the hotel. The hotel security had to escort her up to the room because she couldn't physically hold herself up.
Then the next day was Sedona's birthday. Via tried to make things better by being extra nice, but Sedona isn't having any of it and refuses to help Via with any of her injuries.
So it's now her birthday and I've woken up and I'm kissing on her, loving on her, and I'm like, baby, it's your birthday, like let's have a good day today, let's pretend that yesterday didn't happen. And she shoves me away from her. She's like, we're broken up. I'm done with you. I don't want to spend my birthday with you. Fuck you. And rolls her head into the pillow. So I'm like, how can I make her day better? Still trying. And I called the ATV guy and I was like, yo, we just crashed. Can you have someone come pick me up to figure out what to do? And so he had someone come pick me up on a moped after just crashing on an ATV. So of course I didn't want to get on it, but I did. And we have to go find the ATV in the middle of the jungle. And we did. They assessed it. It was $800, so of course I just paid for it up front right away. And then I stopped at the pharmacy. I got her ibuprofen, Neosporin, bandages, anything I could think of. And I stopped at the front desk and I was like, hey, we just got in an accident. Do you have anything that could possibly help? And brought up a medical team to our room. And when they saw my wounds and then they saw hers, they were like, oh yeah, she needs help first. And I could just see her in the corner of my eye getting pissed off at the fact that I was getting help first. I was like, I can't do anything right, dude. After the medical team leaves, I literally put Neosporin on her, put bandages on her, and I'm reapplying it every hour. And not once did she ask if I was okay. And I literally at one point was like, do you not understand that I also fell off an ATV too? That I'm doing everything I can today to make your day better, and you're just pushing me away. And all I got was an eye roll and then a turn into the pillow. So I spent that day for hours circling the hotel room, losing my mind, just thinking of what I could do to wake her up or make her feel better. She knew I made reservations for 8:30, and she wakes up at 8 o'clock, of course, shoots up right out of bed. She goes, you know what, I'm gonna spend my birthday alone. Fuck you.
In part 4, Via continues walking through the events of the night after Sedona tried to ditch her, saying how her mood took a complete 180, with Sedona going to get a tattoo and claiming that she wanted her birthday to be manic.
So it's 8 o'clock. I'm already ready to go. I'm in a pretty dress. I'm ready to go to dinner. She leaves me in the hotel room. So I'm like, okay. I literally, of course, start crying again, and I get into the bed. I'm ready to go to sleep at this point. I'm like, I'm just going to sleep this day away. 2 hours goes by. I get a text from her saying that she's getting a tattoo down the street and that I should pull up. At this point, I just wanted to see my girlfriend. So what did I do? I got in a taxi and I told her I was on the way. And she told me, baby, I'm so sorry for the way I reacted today. You've planned such an amazing birthday for me. I just want my birthday to be manic.
Via then includes a handful of screenshots, which shows Sedona texting her somewhat of an apology. In the first, Sedona writes, I'll probably see you tomorrow. We can pretend like tomorrow's my birthday. I'm getting a tattoo, then feed the dogs that are down the street. You would have been too hot, so it's all good. Just took shots worth everyone in the tattoo show. Have a great night, Olivia. Via replies, thanking her for giving an update on where she went. In the next screenshot, Sedona seems pretty ignorant to everything she's done and said, writing, you should get a tattoo here tomorrow. They are so fun. They gave me shots and a mixed drink and beer before I even got on the table, including this POV photo. Sedona goes on in the next one saying, my birthday is supposed to be manic. F this planning shit. For real, for real. We can both get inked the F up. And for cheap. $50 minimum. In the last screenshot, Sedona writes, I'm sorry for how I recited. Via says, we can talk about it in Texas. Let's just enjoy Tulum. Sedona replies, I just didn't want to do another beautiful but boring activity. This is the manic shit I want to do before I go back to reality, not dinner. But I love you and I'm so grateful. Via continues in the video, explaining what happened after she met up with Sedona at the tattoo shop.
I show up to the tattoo shop, and what do I see? First thing when I walk in, 5 girls taking shots with her. All right, okay. What am I walking into? There's 3 girls that I love, still talk to this day. 2 girls, you guys can eat this. Eat it. They are flirting with her right in front of me, literally calling her sexy, mommy, hot, and I'm with the 3 other girls who were gravitated towards me and were only talking to me, and I'm just pushing back shots because I'm like, I don't even want to be sober right now. She comes up to me and she's like, oh, they just asked to have a threesome. I said, you're joking, right? Are you actually joking? And she's like, well, I got their number and we're gonna go over to their villa when you're done with your tattoo. So I was like, okay, why did you invite me again? So those girls leave, right? And now it's just me and her as I'm getting the rest of my tattoo done. And she immediately goes cold to me, stops talking to me. Then my tattoo is done and the girls come to pick us up to take us to their villa. This one girl, and I'm gonna name her Francesca, she got out of the front and she literally was like, I'll sit on your lap, to my freaking girlfriend. I look at her and I'm like, no, you're not, bro. What are you doing? So then automatically the tension in the car was so awkward. My girlfriend didn't even want me sitting on her. I could literally feel the energy. So I felt like I was just going along for the ride to make sure that she wasn't cheating on me. Like, that's literally what I felt like I was there for. And then we get to the villa and I turn to my girl, who I'm still friends with to this day. And I asked her if she could take me to the bathroom because I needed a second away from what was going on.
The night continues in part 5. At this point, Via goes to the bathroom and her friend follows, telling her she's concerned about Sedona.
So my girl, she comes into the room with me, the bathroom with me, and she's the one to say to me, girl, what is your girlfriend on? So what do? I immediately start crying because I, of course, felt validated, and I thought I was going crazy, but no, other people could see it too. And she's like, girl, I got your back. None of my friends are touching her. She is a freaking weirdo. Because the 3 girls that were talking to me, that gravitated towards me, they apparently were a separate friend group from the 2 girls that they were with. They all met that same night. So she was like, look, if you need a place to stay, we're going back to our villa soon. You can come with us. I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. We go downstairs, and you will not believe what I see. I don't even know if I can say it. My girlfriend was in the pool of the villa without a top on and holding Francesca in her arms, pressed against her, pouring a shot of Don Julio in her mouth. Saying, come here, sexy, come here, mommy. Bro, it gets worse.
I'm both completely invested in and extremely terrified of how this gets worse. So let's find out in part 6.
So I go up to her and I say, I'm gonna leave. I don't deserve to sit here and watch this, so I'm gonna go. And she looks at me and says, if you leave, I'm gonna hurt tonight. So I said, okay, bet. And I walked up over to my girl and I said, I'm ready to leave. And they all turned to her and started screaming at her for me. I didn't even have to say a single word. It was like I had a little posse, like a movie scene.
Sedona sounds like a straight up villain. Like most of the characters in the White Lotus aren't this bad. But Via goes on, explaining that she made it back to the hotel, but still accidentally had Sedona's phone in her bag.
We get all the way to the front of the villa when I realize I still have her phone in my bag. So the girls are like, stay here. We're gonna run it back to her. You don't go anywhere. Stay right here. So they run back to the villa, and I'm at the front now, and I just hear blood-curdling screams. And I'm like, what is going on? So then I see them running out of the front of the villa, literally running for their life. They're like, we are leaving with or without you. We are leaving right now. Your girlfriend is a psychopath. I'm like, what is going on, bro? They said that the look in her eyes when they gave the phone back to her was the scariest thing that they've ever seen in their life. I know exactly that look. So they leave because something, of course, in me told me to stay with her. And they leave, they get my number. They're like, make sure that you're okay. Please text us. Please stay safe. Like, we love you. We're here for you. I went back to go find her, and she was laying in the bushes, saying that her ankle was broken. So I picked her up and took her to the front of the villa and got us a taxi, took us to the hotel, and of course had to have security escort her once again. Bro, and what did I do the next day? Still love on her. Be like, baby, let's pretend yesterday didn't happen. Let's pretend today's your birthday.
After all of this, they still had one more day left in Mexico. And in part 7, Via recounts this phone call situation involving Sedona's mom.
So like I said, we woke up the next day. I still try to love on her, kiss on her, act like nothing happened the 2 nights before. Let's have a good day today statement. She turns to me, pushes me away, and says, we're done, Liv. I told my mom, we're broken up. So in my head, it's over, because when moms get involved, the game is done. But then she goes on to call her right in front of me on speakerphone. And her mom says, oh, hi, honey, how was your birthday? Because she didn't speak to her. She didn't speak to anyone on her birthday. She slept the entire day away. And she goes on to say, oh, it was terrible. Olivia completely ruined it. So I'm not going to let that happen, especially 2 feet away from me. So I hop in and I say, why don't you tell her that you tried to girls right in front of me? And needless to say, that was the start to the end.
Via wraps up the entire story in part 8 of the series, where she explains how Sedona stayed behind in Mexico and made her go back to Texas by herself, also mentioning how their communication eventually dropped off.
So I just want to add to the context of everything. When I left Mexico, she stayed there for another 12 days. And in those 12 days, she would not answer anybody in her life besides me. So me, being the person I am, still cared for her physical well-being and reached out to her multiple times throughout those 12 days to make sure that she was getting home to the States successfully. We didn't go no contact until after I got all of my things back from our apartment. And to be honest, we didn't end on terrible, terrible terms. And I don't know if that was a subconscious thing on my end from wanting to be able to get all my things back in perfect tact, or if it was a trauma bond. Truly, I don't know. The second that we went no contact and I was able to solely process my emotions and everything that I went through, I'm angry. I have so many freaking questions, but you know what? I've learned that some of those questions are better left unanswered. Seriously, I don't even want to know. I've taken the time. I've taken the time to try and stay silent. Protect someone's peace has done nothing but disturb my own. Then when I get a text message by this same person telling me that what I have been posting online has tarnished the love that we shared, it's disturbing their healing journey. What healing journey? What are you having to heal from? I'm the one having to relearn how to love myself, love others, trust others. All you did was lose me. And I'm not gonna sit back and get a text message like that and let it go unspoken. Sorry, but I've been quiet for too long. Thanks for listening to my story.
The same day Via uploaded this series of videos, someone commented on one of Riley's TikToks saying, "Go look at Olivia's recent TikToks. I need to hear your thoughts." And Riley replied, "Truly glad she made it out. Very parallel. The behaviors, words, and actions. Very triggering. Very scary. She wasn't exaggerating a single part. I don't want to insert myself any more than that." On Sedona's side of things, she immediately started getting called out in her TikTok comments, so those were quickly turned off. However, over on Instagram, more than a few critics made it through, with people writing things like, "Please get help, you really need it, don't you abuse women?" and mocking her text to Via that said, "I want to be manic." The next day, on August 14th, Via uploaded a short TikTok thanking everybody for their support. And shortly after, followed up with this video, saying she was just served a cease and desist.
Whoa! Guess who just got a cease and desist?
Very cutesy, very demure, very mindful.
Riley commented under the video saying, "Not very demure Etsy." And Via replied, "Did not pass the demure check whatsoever." Sedona attempting to silence Via with legal threats led to viewers reaching out to the TCU women's basketball team on Instagram, trying to get her removed from the team. Around the same time, this petition was started on change.org, titled "Hold Sedona Prince Accountable and Remove Her from TCU Women's Basketball Team." This petition quickly gained over 150,000 signatures in the first week. The following day, on August 15th, Sedona addressed the situation, posting this story on Instagram. "I'm deeply saddened, disappointed, and heartbroken in what has transpired in the past couple of days. The amount of hate, bullying, and death threats that my family, friends, and I have been receiving is dangerous, irresponsible, and disturbing. From kill yourself to I hope you die. The rhetoric is cruel, malicious, and mentally draining. I can't be silent anymore. There's so much judgment and scrutinization by many from afar, with opinions and verbal attacks on stories with false narratives and inaccurate information that do not give honesty and with transparency. This is reckless and disheartening. No one deserves to go through something like this. As I continue to take some time off and continue to focus on my well-being, health, and commitments, I sincerely want nothing but the best for everyone, especially those I was able to share my life with in a relationship. This is a very serious matter that I don't take lightly. It has significantly affected those around me, including my family. This will be the only time I will comment on this situation. I will let my legal counsel take it from here." This statement by Sedona was uploaded to another page, and under it, Riley commented, "I'm having deja vu." At this point, online media outlets started covering the breakup, and the past details of Riley's relationship began to resurface. The next day, Via uploaded another TikTok about the situation, this time responding to a comment that says, "Not saying I don't believe her, but Liv has 0 cuts or scratches in the videos that were posted from and immediately after that trip. And I'll have to blur it out, but in the 17-second video, Via shows a massive wound on her elbow, the palm of her hand is torn up, and her entire side is scratched up and red." Also this same day, one of the girls that Via was with on the Mexico trip commented on her TikTok about the cease and desist, writing, "Hi, I'm the girl who was with Liv that night in Tulum. I just wanted to come out in support of Liv and confirm that everything she said is true. I also wanted to add my experience. It was my intention to keep what happened to me private because I am a private person. However, after seeing a lot of victim blaming, I want to add my experience. After a long night of drama and failed advances towards my friends and I, Sedona put her hands on me when my friend and I went to give her phone back. She grabbed my wrists so hard, to the point I woke up with bruises on my wrists the next day. This is why my friend and I screamed. There are a lot of fake idols out there. Please be careful. The day after this, on August 17th, Riley uploaded this story to TikTok, showing support for Via. From this point, the petition was picking up a lot of momentum. But despite this, people still didn't think there was substantial enough evidence for TCU to actually kick Sedona off the team. This was confirmed in an article by the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, titled TCU Women's Basketball Provides Update on Status of Sedona Prince. Writing, a school spokesperson told the Star-Telegram on Monday morning that Prince's status as an active member on the team is intact. The petition had over 150,000 signatures on Sunday and has gained over 12,000 in less than 24 hours. For now, it looks like TCU has no plans to remove one of its most impactful players from the roster. Prince averaged 19.7 points and 9.7 rebounds last season, and was the first big-time transfer to give coach Mark Campbell and the Horned Frogs a chance. So now let's take a quick detour into more non-Sedona related drama. Because Via, who was called out earlier in the video for using a black scent when recording TikToks, took it a few steps further after being exposed for saying the N-word in a video back when she was 17 years old.
Why won't it stop?
Why are we going so fucking fast?
I'm going so fast, nigga. Please?
So 3 days after this, on August 22nd, Via posted a semi-apology on her Instagram story in response to this insane DM she received. The other person tells her, honestly, some people deserve domestic violence, LMAO. Seems like, karmically, you should have just been left on the woods. Under it, Via writes, I knew there was a possibility of this being leaked, as I was quite literally told that it would be posted if I shared my story. Two things can be talked about at once, but let's please not ignore the other victims who have come out with their experiences. They deserve to be heard and supported, and not invalidated by my past actions. Again, to the Black community, I am so deeply for my past actions, and hope you can one day forgive me. One day after this, somebody commented on one of Riley's TikToks saying, Riley, please tell me you've never said the N-word. I'm scared. And she replied, you are safe, my love. Now let's round out this video by talking about the additional rumors and allegations that continued to pile up against Sedona while all of this was happening. The first of two major situations involved a creator on TikTok that goes by the name Liss. She shares her experience with Sedona in this 22-minute video. To save some time, I'm going to summarize the details, but I'll link the full thing down below if you want to watch the whole TikTok. Liss begins by saying the situation happened in 2019, just after she graduated high school. She matched with Sedona on Tinder just before going out of state. They talked back and forth for 2 months. Then when Liss came back, they went on a date. During the date, she says things went fine. Not amazing, but not bad either. At the end of the night, they buy some fast food and drive home. But instead of dropping her off at her house, Sedona keeps driving and stops further up the street. Liss is confused, but says it's fine, and that she can just walk the short way back home. Then, as she's saying goodbye, Liss explains this happening.
She proceeds to lock the door and tell me, I didn't just take you out for nothing. And in my head, I said, huh? I was genuinely mortified. More so because I was so scared of how weak I was in that moment, because I have always been a spitfire, passionate, I'm a fighter, I'm loudmouth, like I stand up for myself. But in that moment, I completely froze. I blacked out the minute I heard that. And remembering it now, I was like, haha, like, so cute, you know. I immediately was like, we gotta do what we gotta do to get out of the car. This bitch is 6'7", I'm 5'2". What the am I supposed to do? So I froze, and I let it happen. And it's not anything like crazy. It wasn't anything like super vicious and intense. It was more so of like she forced herself inside of me, and decided because I wasn't reacting that it wasn't fun. So literally just threw me to the side and was like, ugh, slipped her fingers out, unlocked the door and was like, whatever.
Liz continues to say that it took her a long time to fully process what happened. Then, when she was finally able to post a TikTok about her experience, she says Sedona texted her, threatening to sue her for defamation and call the cops on her. But in the same exact message, offered to pay for her therapy if she took the video down. Later, Liz explains that it took her so long to finally tell her story and then leave the video up because one of the past times she told it, someone close to her and Sedona sent her a massive message attempting to completely invalidate her experience, which threatened Liz enough to take her initial video down. This TikTok wraps up with Liz providing another warning that Sedona's unlikely to change in the future. The second big situation popped up just a day later, on August 15th. And it involves a creator named Faith Lynn Gianna. She shares her experience with Sedona that she had after the Mexico trip, broken down in her own 3-part TikTok series. Because of how long the video is already, I'm also just gonna summarize the details. But I'll link the part 1 TikTok below if you want to watch the full thing. Faith Lynn begins by saying that she felt called to share after hearing Via's story and noticing how similar hers was. She continues explaining that a friend set her up with Sedona, and they connected quickly, saying that while they were FaceTiming one night, Sedona really wanted to come see her, so she booked a flight, but then woke up sober the next morning and quickly decided to cancel it. A week went by, and then Sedona convinced Faith Lynn to come visit her. During this 2-day weekend trip, Faith Lynn says everything seemed normal, and Sedona was very sweet. Because of this, Faith Lynn invited Sedona to come visit her and her friends for Pride in New York City. In part 2, she says this is where everything went south. Her and Sedona go to a friend's party, and she mentions that they're older and married and have babies. So overall it's more chill, but there is an open bar. Which later in the day, Faith Lynn says she had to cut off Sedona from drinking, and started handing her waters, having to babysit her. She explains that she could tell Sedona was drunk because she was going around to all of Faith Lynn's friends, telling them how much she wanted to marry her, and that she's falling in love with her, despite everyone at the party knowing this was only the second time they met. After this, they're sitting off in a corner and Sedona's confessing her love. Faith Lynn has to remind her that they don't really know each other and they just met. And this causes Sedona to start crying, so they go inside and then Sedona disappears. In the meantime, Faith Lynn is talking to her friends, and they're asking her if everything's okay. 40 minutes go by, and Sedona is nowhere to be seen. So Faith Lynn starts texting her, trying to find out where she is. She gets no response, so Faith Lynn and her friend start looking. And they find Sedona passed out on the floor in a guest bedroom, saying that there was a scary, dead look in her eyes. Faith Lynn tells her, all right, get up, let's go. So Sedona gets up and runs out of the apartment with no shoes on. And Faith Lynn, at 5'2", starts chasing Sedona down the sidewalk in New York City. When she finally catches up to her, Sedona is extremely angry, pushing and shoving her away. Once they finally get back home, Sedona's mood is changing every 2 minutes, going from overly apologetic to irrationally mad and back again. Faith Lynn tells her to take a shower and get in bed. Then Sedona gets up and starts pushing chairs around, slamming her phone on the table, and getting extra aggressive to scare Faith Lynn. However, despite being far smaller, Faith Lynn explains that she didn't let the threats scare her.
At that point, when she's getting really aggressive inside, I turn to the side and I'm crying and I just tell myself, I'm like, she is trying to scare me. She is trying to scare me. She wants me to be afraid of her, and I'm not going to let that happen. So I take a deep breath and I look her dead in the eyes. I go, you are not going to disrespect me in my house. Get in the shower and go to bed. And I don't know how I must have said it, but she did it. She went in the shower and then tries to go to bed.
The next morning, Faith Lynn says that Sedona tried to be very sweet to her, but Faith Lynn tells her that she no longer has any sympathy for her due to the way she acted, and that she needs to change her flight and leave as soon as possible. Then, once Sedona got to the airport, she sent a very long apology text. In part 3, Faith Lynn says she's been in contact with Via, and provides another warning about Sedona. Following this TikTok series going up, Faith Lynn also shares a screenshot of the apology text Sedona sent her from the airport after everything happened. Around the same time, even more rumors began to spread about Sedona's behavior in college, with one person writing, "I go to the University of Oregon, where she used to play basketball, and on multiple occasions, I saw her yelling at bouncers at the bar for not letting her in, and generally just being rude to waitstaff at the bar. She can shut the F up because nobody I know at this university has had a positive experience with her, and she obviously has a bad track record to begin with. Grateful she is getting her karma." Another person wrote on TikTok, "I went to UO when she was there. Saw her at so many frat parties. She had a scary reputation there. When she was dating Riley, she always had 10 plus girls surrounding her at every party." This video was also posted by a different one of Sedona's exes, who said, "Checking in on my ex to see how she's doing. Imagine abusing the prettiest girl on TikTok and fumbling your basketball career over it." One day after this, on August 18th, this video was shared to TikTok with the text, "Thinking about the time I woke up to this video of Sedona Prince grinding on me at a frat party," saying in the comments that this happened in November of 2021, while Sedona was still dating Riley. Then the next day, we heard yet another story about Sedona, when this person said, "Thinking about the time Sedona asked me if she could buy me a drink at a bar, and managed to make me feel like shit in the little time I spent with her. She was aggressively grabbing me, hitting on me, then ice cold ignoring me, all within the same hour." 2 days later, it came out that she had been cheating on Liv with a bunch of girls out at bars. She told me she was in her healing phase. Truly just glad Liv is okay. And Sedona is finally being seen as the person she is. Love always wins. Believe it or not, we made it to the end of the entire timeline. And now you're up to date on pretty much everything that's happened so far involving the basketball player and content creator Sedona Prince. And now that you have pretty much all the details about this situation, I need to know, what do you think about everything? Are there any new story updates? Did I miss anything in my coverage? And what do you think the worst thing Sedona's done so far is? Because I know it's not stopping here. Let me know all that down in the comments. If you want to get caught up with even more internet drama and news, subscribe to either channel to catch the next story, or check out any of my recent videos. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.